All right, all right, all right. We are live. We are live. What's going down? What's going down? Man, let's get into this one, man. So I've been doing the video to upload this one, and I just had to go live on this one regarding because I was tripping off of the timing for the release of this interview with Derrick James on Brian Custer. For those who haven't seen it, around the world was asking me where the interview was at. It was on the YouTube channel of Brian Custer. I forget the actual name of his YouTube channel. I just always type in Brian Custer's how I know him as. But he does this interview. So it's about 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of Errol Spence return to the ring over there in Australia. So wait, they fight on the 27th. Wait, Earl fighting on a fucking Monday? Hold up. Let me go to ESPN real quick and check this one out. I think it was the 27th, or maybe it's a different day. Monday, man. These fools ain't any. The only fight I wake up or get up early to watch a fight that's on like a weekday, way over in some other country, and be having to get up at like 2 and 3 in the damn morning to watch the fight is Monster anyway. I ain't waking up for no Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence. Wait, that shit is on the 25th. The 25th is, let me see, Saturday. Okay, so good. I was about to say I'll be definitely catching a replay after work. So I'm about to say they ain't worthy of staying up to watch them fight and shit. This is a cash grab, retirement check, Medicare check, and all that other shit. Private school check, college tuition check, but it's the sell into the sun fight. That's all this one is. This ain't gonna be nothing spectacular. Ain't gonna be dudes at their highest of ability. It's none of that. It's just two dudes who, well, really one dude who had a name that rose up and was a top guy in the sport, that being Errol Spence, and then the son of a fighter being Tim Tszyu, the son of Costa Tszyu, who was looking to kind of make a name in the lane for his own self, and that lane and name for himself was derailed very early in his career, real quick. Soon as Tim Tszyu started to get into a little bit of the limelight, his ass was destroyed, and it came crashing and burning to an end. So he gets his final call, and we'll see what he can do against Errol Spence, who have gotten his final call in the sport and has, used multiple of his lives. So in this interview, Derrick James, who really wasn't going in on Errol Spence, man, he was real graceful in the way in which he went about this. The question asked about Errol Spence going in with Tim Tszyu, who does he have, and all this other stuff. And he was giving props to Errol Spence. He didn't shit on Errol Spence. He didn't look down on him. He wished him the best. He wasn't really trying to get into it. But the more the interview went, the more Brian Custer prodded for more details and more information, because he couldn't leave this one hanging, especially you get Derrick James coming off the heels of the Andre Ward interview and everything that Errol Spence put out in the Andre Ward interview, and had really directed a lot of the blame towards Derrick James, stating Derrick James didn't give him any sparring. Derrick James is distracted and shit like that, being that it wasn't on him. But Derrick James, once the question began to, as Brian Custer went further in the questions, he went in, he addressed that shit. And who knows, is his word versus Earl word and this and that. So only those two would really know what's the truth. But in Derrick James, breakdown of things, he really wasn't trying to go in on Earl, because he ain't really a guy like that. Brian Custer goes into this next thing when he was asking about who he had the win. He was being real gracious about this one. He still was rocking with his former fighter. Brian Custer was asking about where did their relationship go wrong, and He didn't even when Derrick James addressed that, he didn't address it like, oh, Earl effed me over for some money. Earl did me dirty. Earl's supposed to pay me millions of dollars. He was like, no, the relationship went bad once I served the papers. And it was simple as that. Then he went on, he was speaking about what he was doing the interview with Andre Ward. He was stating that Ward and Virgil Hunter had like a father-son type relationship as trainers. And that was because of, he was making a comparison because Earl had been with Derrick James since his amateur career and when he turned pro. I don't know if he trained him as an amateur or his first fight as he turned as a professional fighter. Derrick James is there. Virgil Hunter was there with Andre Ward when he was a kid, when Andre Ward's father was still alive. Once his father died, Virgil Hunter steps into the role of being kind of like a father figure to him. And that's what their relationship was always like. So this dude, Brian Custer, was wondering like why wasn't their relationship like that? But like Derrick James stated, he was like, nah, we'll be more like big brother, little brother. He's like, I couldn't dare play the role of father. His father is right there. Like, so it ain't no replacing his father, which you find some coaches do that shit when they get around, talents that they bring up. They be want to replace the role of being this young rising talent's father and shit. And Errol Spence's father wasn't allowing that shit. He had been there. So then he goes into about Earl's statement about the training. He stated that he wasn't getting no sparring. He stated that Errol Spence said it was on Derrick James. He didn't find anybody. Derrick James is one to laugh that shit off. He was like, man, that was his damn father's decision. Errol Spence's father decided to take him out because Earl, and the thing they were keeping a secret, Earl got hurt by one of his sparring partners. And they try to continue on with it. And then he ended up finding out that, it wasn't, sparring wasn't going well. And they needed to hide that. They needed to hide the injury even from the sparring partners. They didn't want to let the sparring partner know that he was hurt because how that intel would have leaked up out of that gym. So they kind of kept that shit hidden. And for the last how many ever weeks it was, he had no sparring because of Errol Spence's father. Then he gets to speaking about, well, was there a lot of going on where you have these fighters? And like Derrick James said, there was no overlap in the fighters he was training. He had Anthony Joshua and I believe Ryan Garcia. Then he's going into Earl. He was like, those fighters never saw each other unless a fighter stayed over. Like he said, Anthony Joshua, after his training regimen was over, he'll stay over and watch Errol Spence. But overlapping, there was none of that shit. That was on Earl and them about, their decision not to continue with sparring because Earl was hurt. Them needing to hide that shit. Earl probably needed to go see a doctor, whether he went or not. That's between Earl and his father. He stated that Earl turned the gym into daddy daycare. He said when he looked up Earl and Jordan, y'all remember Jordan from when he was over on he always come on Fred's show. He always come on Fred Coonthorne's show when we were over at the barbershop. Jordan will always be over there. But Derrick James is saying that Jordan and Earl both in there with their kids. Their kids running around. It's all this shit that's distractions and this and that. Same thing that Brian Norman began to state when his son lost. And that's what Derrick James pointed towards Errol Spence not locking in and why he ended up getting his ass whooped. But Derrick was saying he ain't gonna even use that shit to even take away from what Terrence Crawford did. Because he said even if everything went right, he probably still got his ass whooped. And like Derrick was saying, he was just responding to the questions that were being asked. And it's not to take nothing away from Terrence Crawford. And it was simple as that. So it's just like, man, it's just like the funniest thing that boxing is so garbage that we have to rely that boxing is so fucking garbage that these type of interviews and touching in on shit that happened 3 fucking years ago. And it's crazy to think that it has been 3 years since the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight. 3 damn years. And that was the death of the welterweight division. 3 years ago, the welterweight division died. It ain't been shit in welterweight. 154 died once Charlo moved to fight Canelo, and Canelo killed that shit off. Crawford really kind of bypassed 154, went in there and fought Canelo, retires, and boxing is ass. Outside of David Benavidez, that's about all that's left. I know people was putting out yesterday David Benavidez is going through some personal shit. I don't know how true it is, if it's made up or what it is. And I hope it ain't true with what they saying. The internet, Twitter, whatever it was on Instagram shit that came out with the Benavidez shit, because the boxing needs Benavidez fall off. Boxing really doomed, especially for the American side of shit. But the most entertainment in the sport comes from former training, former, what we call them, a team, the former team of Errol Spence, and their intel that comes out 3 years after the fact is the most entertaining shit in this whack ass era boxing, of finding out who didn't train, kids in the damn gym, did no payment, no sparring, and that's the most entertaining shit in damn boxing. Is the craziest shit. Also, salute the Belgium, man. Even though I don't give two shits about the country, I give two damns about Belgium. But salute to them for going into motherfucking World Cup soccer, which I give two damns about soccer as well. But anytime there's a kick in the ass of this bozo motherfucker named Donald Trump, you are a friend of mine. You are a patriot to me. That's exactly what I would consider these fools in Belgium. But as a nation and what that nation has stood up for, I don't rock with them like that. But kicking their ass at the Trump try to pull off that little slick ass under the table shit to try to rob the World Series of it being, fair and balanced, and that shit to fall flat on his face. It was almost like Trump showing up to the damn Knicks goddamn game, and it awakened the hell out of Belgium. That Belgium went in here and whooped these boys' ass 4-1. It might as well have been 21-0 skunk. It was a 21-0 skunk. And now Belgium moves on to get further to a World Cup. So it's going to be next Belgium versus Spain, I believe that is. Morocco versus France on one end, how they do that shit. Brazil got knocked off by Norway. Then how Brazil lose to Norway? Damn, is he all white ass countries? They got all the damn white people in this motherfucker, man. Something ain't right. Then Egypt in this shit. How the hell Egypt in there? And then it's gonna be Colombia versus Switzerland. Boy, this is about to be the whitest goddamn World Cup ever. It must be some black people on these damn European ass teams. This is about to be rolled in the snow ass World Cup. All the snow rolling countries is in the damn World Cup. They must have been cheating in this shit. That's why I don't watch the World Cup. None of that soccer shit. But I see the pattern. There's a lot of snow rolling countries still in this shit. And that shit is way the hell out. That's some way out shit. But all in all, I'm glad not to see Trump hoe ass involvement being connected to any corrupt shit within the sports. Even with Team USA out there, nobody gives a damn about soccer in this damn country. This is a basketball nation. This is an American goddamn nation to this old sellout ass president. Because some other shit with this little hoe ass president. Because I was listening to him talking about how English is the American language, and we've been talking for 1,000 years. Trump, when your family got here, English wasn't even y'all motherfucking language. Y'all ain't speak no goddamn language. Hell, your bitch came over here and didn't even speak English. So you need to shut the fuck up talking about what America, this and that. World Cup ain't America. Soccer ain't America. This is a basketball, football, boxing nation. Not even that MMA shit is no American shit. This is basketball, football, boxing nation. You little pilgrim asshole. Let me go into the chat. That's my motherfucking rebuttal to this whole ass president. And salute to Belgium once again, but not Belgium as a country. Salute to Belgium to just today in that soccer game. And then Rob G in the building says it was after a while. Says Earl first trained after what's that? Says after Vivero boxing gym. Says then moved to James. And then Hype says Benavidez cleared it up, says, and stated they're remaining together, says, and working through their issues. Also, Benavidez stated whatever it is it his cocaine use or something? Or he out there playing like he motherfucking what's that fool on Scarface, Tony Montana and shit, playing in his nose, buzz, get me yayo, and then messing with the bitches. Is it that? You know what I'm saying? Niggas be taking their bitches for granted, man. Especially a rich, young motherfucker. And you fucking with motherfucking booger sugar and shit. Man, that fool losing his goddamn retarded ass mind. But that chick ain't going nowhere. Shit. That chick done been that nigga girl for this damn long. Nobody want her motherfucking ass. She can cry, do all this shit. He gotta go buy a ring, beg for her back and all that other shit. But he better clean his goddamn self up, because if he fall off, then she can bounce and shit. But Benavidez, you ain't cracking too many bitches out here. And then the taker says their issue says that broad the base head. He says that he meant two. Says that broad the base head too. It's possible she in there could be doing that shit. I don't know. He says the Honkies invented the sport, bro. I wouldn't give a damn what they invented, but I doubt they invented. They probably can put patents on that shit. But as horrible as they are at playing that shit, I don't know if you talking about they invented basketball and all that other shit. I know they got a white person they give credit to that shit for, but I totally doubt it. He probably just put the patent on that shit to introduce it to American high schools, colleges, and them formulating a pro team. But I highly doubt that shit was created by some white dude. As horrible as they are playing that shit, yeah, right. And then he says, Velocity Cuss says, what up, Veggie franchise? Salute. And then the taker, you talking about me playing with the tall Asian kid? Man, I thought I was gonna have to fight that kid when he came over there talking about ball. Cause I'm looking at so giant. I'm like, nigga, what? Like, who the fuck you talking to? And then I see he don't know. He didn't just talking about ball. Like, nigga, he just, man, if you'd have seen how he walked over on that court, I'm like, man, nigga, who you talking to? He fucking talking about some ball thing, nigga, playing some old Chinese royalty ass shit. Like, nigga, you got the gang fucked up. You got parents, like, and now I'm looking like, how the fuck did them two people have this big ass kid? That nigga's big than a motherfucker. And the taker says it's football. It's a football nation, bro. Says it ain't close. More football. I think this nation is more shifted towards being a basketball nation than it is a football nation. Football, I can't even see football as the biggest sport even currently in the nation right now. Could it be the Super Bowl is a big day for the NFL and all that shit? I think the Super Bowl is still bigger than the NBA Finals. But overall, I think basketball is a bigger sport. I think you're seeing more youth gravitate towards playing in basketball. I think basketball is bigger. Basketball is more of a global sport than football as well. Velocity Cuss says Redhead Alvarez said he had the greatest training camp to prepare for Bud. Says even if EJ had the best camp, says still the same outcome. And that's the hard one to believe. I never would have thought that fight would look like that. Never would have thought that. But like in talking to Roy Jones, the first person to talk about how Terrence Crawford was going to do in that fight. Roy Jones is the first one. I wish I still had that interview with me talking to Roy Jones. and asking Roy Jones that shit. This is well before they ever even fought. This is even before Earl ever had the accident. This is even 2 years before Earl had the accident. But it was always this talk about Earl and Terrence Crawford and fighting. And Roy Jones is saying, like, even when Roy Jones was in the building where Earl was at, I remember the dude, what's his name? Not I know boxing. Damn, what's the homie? What's the dude? Keon, everything boxing. He was the one telling, man, Roy said Crawford gonna knock you out. And he was like, man, I was like, man, Roy ain't say it like that, but shit. I mean, he gave his assessment on how he said. Roy was like, Earl ain't fought nobody. Crawford got the better resume. Earl ain't got. What he's saying? He was saying something like Earl ain't got the skill sets to even hang with Terrence Crawford. And he's like, how he gonna win? He's like, he gonna win by stoppage. I was like, hell no. But I'm just listening to Roy say this shit. Like I'm like, you really believe this shit? Like, he's like, hell yeah, he gonna stop him. I said, damn, like, I don't know about that shit. I'm like, I can at least see them going back and forth and dropping each other. And then Velasquez says, Redhead says, oh yeah, I read that one. And then Picasso says, yo, says what up? Says, what up, y'all? Says soccer for short T-Rex arm people. Says, I can kick a ball. Says soccer should be an exercise routine. Says running a long ass distance and kick a motherfucker ass. Says we do that in the hood. This fool Picasso. Yeah, I couldn't. That soccer shit, they do run too damn much. And how big is a soccer field? Is that shit 100 yards? The soccer field 100 yards. So imagine you running that shit. But on soccer, them fools got defense and offense. So I don't think you got to go on both sides of the field. How do that shit work? That's always a dumb thing with soccer to me. When I heard people say they got defenders and offensive players. So what the hell? How the hell do you play that shit? And then, but I would never watch that shit. I never watched that shit. And then Taker says, listen, Yank says, stick, this is how this fool right too. Says, stick to American handball, says, or make Google your friend. And he says, man, what country are you from that you write like that? That an odd option, says, and two, no. Man, this retarded motherfucker. Are you using a translator or some shit? What country you from, dude? And then Andrew Charles says all the ball sports have their origins in ancient America. Oh, with the natives. You talking about ancient America, like with the natives, with the tribes. And then Mirror in the building saying, what up, my brother Mirror? Picasso says the NFL is bigger regardless, two world sports, says we fill up stadiums in this biatch. Yeah, that's why. But I was wondering, like, could you, if I wonder this, if you had an NBA stadium the size of an NFL stadium, could you fill the mugs? Because then again, that might point back towards NFL football might be our biggest sport. But then again, you got to look at it because viewership could still be high for basketball. Basketball is an 80-something game season. And you filling that shit. I think if football was 80-something games, you would not have people attending that shit. So it'll be hard to even stack those two sports up to each other. Being you only getting 18 games of this football shit, they're only playing it once a week. Now, basketball is bigger than football. Basketball in this country is definitely bigger than football. There's no doubt about it. But I wonder if you made a basketball arena the size of an NFL arena with some 50, 60,000 people in attendance, could they sustain a large enough crowd to fill that shit? I wonder how that'd be. But if the NFL went beyond, that's why the NFL doesn't extend their schedule, because they know viewership would taper off on that shit. Attendance possibly would taper off. Picasso says the NFL is bigger regardless to world sports, says we fill stadiums in his biatch. And if Velasquez says NBA is not bigger than the NFL, says it ain't even close, blood. Now, see, I can't agree with that one because I think you got to look at it. The NFL is fucking 1/4 of an NBA season. That shit is 1/4 of an NBA season. And they doing that shit once a fucking week. So I don't know about that one. I think the NBA is bigger. And then even when you look at merchandise, it says NFL says too physically punishing for a season that long. But yeah, that's why I'm going. I'm trying to figure out how would you rank the two up. But when you look at merchandising for both of the sports, the NBA is going to have more merchandising. The apparel companies make more money through deals with NBA players than they do with NFL players. NFL really ain't got mega stars like that. No, it's to the NBA. The NBA got that shit. There's more teams in the NBA? Or no, how many teams is it balanced or is it more teams in the NBA? And then yeah, I give it to the NBA. I don't know about the NFL, but it is a more physically enduring sport and shit. But I was thinking, like, if you didn't deal with the injuries, could you run it that long? And then Mir says I think a bit of it is on Champ side, says Paige. Yeah, oh yeah, Champ side did come in after I was talking to Roy. Champ side and a couple other people did like come in there when I was talking to him, and he was saying this shit. It says somewhere, it says I remember that interview with Roy Jones. But yeah, Roy was saying that shit because it kind of threw everybody off. This is when Earl was like the top dude, and everybody viewing Earl as being the man up there, and he's the face of boxing shit. And Earl was stopping guys and punishing him, and Roy was saying that shit was like I was like, I don't know if I believe Roy, but Roy is a legend. But I'm like, damn, like he's saying this shit. But then I'm like, damn, that's the only shit I miss about the channels, because when I lose channels, I never gave a fuck. I don't do all that crybaby shit like, oh, YouTube, I'm leaving YouTube. YouTube is rogue. They did me rogue. They done took my channel. The only thing I hate about losing all those channels I got, and I'm good with not losing channel. I don't even get strikes no more. That's the crazy shit about this shit. I used to get strikes all the damn time and lose shit. The only thing I regret with doing that shit is losing some of the videos I had on that shit. We used to have some dope fucking live streams as well, but I've missed some of them old videos I had. And especially that Roy Jones video and shit. I really regret not having that interview and shit. And then and the taker says American handball says will only be ever big here in USA. Soccer, like Elon Skrilla says, compare. Man, what the hell country are you from? Are you motherfucking slow or something, man? God damn. Over here we write, buddy. We try to work on punctuations. I gotta work on when I can't read words, and I'll work on getting the words out. Picasso and the rolling. Andrew Charles says soccer on TV says can be boring. Says soccer in person is pretty entertaining. What's entertaining? The motherfuckers throwing bananas at Africans and shit. I mean, what the hell kind of shit is that? Fuck soccer. That's the other way I want to go. I would not want to be around a bunch of them old immigrant ass fans and shit. Then you outnumbered by them old bitch ass people. Like, fuck soccer. I wouldn't want to go to that shit. And Amir says Derrick James can't have a conversation outside any building. Says outside any building, says his brain might overheat. Says boy starts chasing squirrels mid sentence. Wait, why you say that? Why you say that? You say Derrick James offers some shit. And then Andrew Charles says NFL says it's too physically punishing, says for a season that long. Says it's higher stakes in the NFL. Yeah, but like I said, I think as far as American sports, I think basketball might be at this current state bigger than the NFL. Velocity cuts. Man, I was watching some shit earlier, and it was a highlight with it was the Detroit Lions running back. I forget this fool's name, but it was whoever's the running back during that run when they were almost in the going to the Super Bowl. And I seen that shit with that running back, and I look back, and I said, and because I look at this shit with Boston, I look at the shit with Jaylen Brown in Boston, this shit with the Lakers, And I look at it with these funky motherfuckers that they trying to make this short because they been whitewashing sports. This is why I be saying why I pushed away from watching the NFL for so long, pushed away from watching the NBA, why I don't listen to commentary and boxing, why I'm like got this habit when I watch boxing, when I sit down, I don't listen to the volume because I've been seeing this shit clear as a fucking day is this whitewashing with these fucking sports and always right Reggie Owens. All it takes for Donald Trump to accelerate this shit and blow the cover on this shit about how big whitewashing is inside this country. And it's one of the biggest failures that crashes this country. But going there, when I'm watching this shit and I looked at this running back make this blazing ass play where he ran somebody over, trucked this fool, and then bust for like another fucking 20 yards or some shit. And I was looking at like, man, this dude team was right there about to go to the fucking Super Bowl. And his funky ass coach made that shit all about his funky, pale face, dingy, dirtbag ass self. And fuck that damn good ass Detroit Lions team. Because I used to lose a lot of bets because for a while when the Lions was recruiting Charles, what was that fool? They recruited Roy Williams. It was another it was a fucking receiver out of what's he from? Michigan State, Roger Charles, and they was getting all these like first round picks. Then they brought Dominic Sue. And I used to bet year after year, like, man, the Lions about to be the team to watch. Some days wouldn't do shit. And then to watch this Lions team finally become something and was right there, was win the game and watch that coach fuck that damn Super Bowl. They was a game away from the Super Bowl and watch that coach fuck that shit off. And now Detroit ain't never. It's going to be on someone. Nobody expect that shit. The Detroit Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, I might put a bet in since saying that shit that fuck around and the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl this year. Mark my fucking words. I done said that shit here on July 6th that the Detroit Lions may fuck around and win the Super Bowl. But that coach fucked them over from a Super Bowl. But I think the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Velocity Cuss says MLB makes more money off fitted caps. But I remember who was that brought that shit up today. We was trying to figure out like how does the MLB players make so much money? It's like the most least watched fucking sport in America. It's trash. And he says, and then the stadiums are always empty for Major League Baseball. He says EJ at his best was like Triple G. Says straight up and down, no special effects. And then Triple G certainly was that. I ain't gonna put that on Earl. And Charles says that was Earl's weakness against Crawford. Says he is just a straight up. He is just a straightforward up and down fighter. Man, I wonder what he would have been if it wasn't for that accident though. And then Picasso says Earl has a nice style. Says, but even Bud agreed. Says, but even Bud agreed. Says, but. Wait, damn, Picasso, your writing and words you use just don't make no sense, bro. That's why I be so stumbling over y'all reading because this shit don't be making sense to me how y'all write shit. Earl has a nice style, but even Bud agreed. But Spence waited too damn long and gave Bud time to study him. Says I felt like Bud should have fought Boots. Says while Earl went through Al's money list. Says then meet up. Nah. And Ennis and them didn't want that, shouldn't have taken that Bud fight. Imagine if Ennis had fought Bud. Bud would have ruined the fuck out of Ennis. It's just sometimes, man, it's the hard thing for anyone to think from a fighting standpoint as a man that you ain't ready to fight a certain motherfucker. That's a hard pill to swallow to think that a motherfucker can really whoop your ass like that. And you need time. And Amir says, and that's when they be like, man, pop the trunk. I'm going to shoot this nigga. And then Mark says NBA is bigger globally. Says, but NFL is bigger in the U.S. Says TV ratings and revenue. Is that true? I'm about to search that shit. I don't know about that shit. And then Mark says primarily because you don't need much equipment. Said just the basketball and a hoop. Says versus football. Says you need a whole damn Gatorade suit. No, basketball come with a lot, man. Shit, The money these kids spend for basketball, shit. Basketball, I think to play football is less money than a kid pursuing basketball. There's a lot of money pouring into basketball. And then dude says how the first time you play with somebody says you get your ass busted, says by a dude. Like what? Man, you see me working with that dude. I was just waiting on your hate. That's why I upload that shit, dudes. You see me helping a dude with autism. That nigga was, like I said, that nigga was Yao Ming little brother and shit. Oh, big ass dude. I almost thought I was gonna have to punch that nigga, man. They come over there on some like Xi Jinping and shit. I'm like, I know these Chinese niggas don't come over here thinking they running shit like that. Then they walk over there to mo ball. I said, homie, that's why I told that nigga, nah, you better go get this. You gonna go get the rebound. Nigga, ain't nobody about to give you the ball. And then when I figure out, like, oh no, I think he's a little autistic or something. Like, cause when I seen him run for the ball, that's when I realized that shit. But let me see. NBA revenue. But yeah, no, I was helping the dude shoot. I was showing him and shit. That's why his parents is thanking me and shit after that. So why dude's thinking the kid cabal, man, yeah, right. I was helping this dude out. Niggas always in this motherfucker hating this shit. Let me see. Let me go on. All right, let me go 2026. Niggas be hating this shit because they ain't better than me. Let me see. Let me copy this one. Yeah, because then I want to see how much the NFL pulling in with the short ass season compared to basketball. Let me see. Popularity. Let me see. All right, here go two different things. Let's see two different stat related shit. Correlation between NFL and NBA. And this is from 2025. It says NFL revenues $23 billion. Boom, boom, boom. Where's the NBA shit at? 23. The increase of 14%. NBA projected revenues 14. Shit, NFL is way higher than that shit. Then the NFL is on point like that? Jesus. Man, them players ought to be getting a whole lot more money. See, the NFL niggas is getting fucked over. They getting fucked over if that's the case. NFL averages 15 to 20 million. Damn. Super Bowl tracks 100 million. Shit. And that short ass span of time? Damn, yeah, the revenue ain't even close. Yeah, that revenue ain't even close. So the NFL is the biggest and shit. Man, them NFL motherfuckers stupid. Ain't no nigga, you gonna pay me, homeboy. You ain't coming out here to watch no motherfucking owners. Better come up off some of that money, shit. Like, man, and that short, yeah, you about to pay me. I will hold out. Now I see why the motherfucking NFL players be holding out. Shit, I don't blame them after seeing that shit. And the Mark says, glad James came out, says, and gave his side of the story. Yeah, I'm glad Derrick James cleared that shit up too. But I didn't buy into Errol Spence shit anyway, because it seems like he got accountability issues. And I was saying that shit when I first watched his side of shit. Andrew Charles says I wouldn't make that bet, laugh out loud. Well, with the lines, I'm gonna put something on the lines, but I think the Rams are gonna win that shit. And then the Rob G says wouldn't be greater than Clippers whole roster. That's facts. And you see who went to the Clippers today, Deuce? I think I'm getting a little close to what I predicted with LeBron. So as the Lakers get rid of black motherfuckers on that team, and if you got any drop of black blood on your team, you still got to go. And that's what happened to Hoochie Moore. That name named Raul Hoochie Moore. So he's a black dude from Japan that you got a little bit of drop of black blood. They doing the motherfucking the little 1% rule with a white identity with the motherfucking Euro stepping ass Lakers and shit. Hoochie Moore even had to go. So they kicked him out the motherfucking team. He ain't white enough. I think they're going to change the Lakers jersey and make the motherfuckers all white. The Lakers are probably playing hoods and shit. as they warm up outfits. So, but yeah, the Spurs 10 times better than Wemby, greater than the whole team. But like I said, you got a Laker who is now a Clipper. Get ready for LeBron James. Get ready for LeBron James. It only gonna make sense that LeBron go over to the fucking Clippers. And then the Taker says 50 billion a year, says soccer versus 25 billion for football. Well, soccer got all you motherfucking rejects from around the world. The NFL is right here in one country. And he says KO, don't bother getting up, yank. And then Mark Nash says MLB says has 162 games and no salary cap. So that's how they get paid so much. Man, nobody watches that shit. And nobody watches that shit, and them stadiums do be empty a lot. And the dude says, that Asian dude says, busting your shit. Get the fuck out. Man, that Asian dude couldn't even fucking dribble like that. Isn't that dude's always on some hater shit? But that fool was down there like 7 feet tall. I was almost going, but I don't think his family knew English and shit. I about to say, like, God damn, how tall is this motherfucker? This nigga. It had to be like something went wrong on some experiment. They was doing some Yao Ming shit with that kid. Cause I'm like, this nigga is big. But it was funny because he went over on the other side, on the other court. And I guess they knew he was over there working with me. The one black dude came over there. He thought I was training the dude. Cause he was like, dang, man, that dude came over here and he hit like 5 shots in a row. So they thought I was his trainer. He's like, you a trainer? Yeah, that's the type of shit nobody ever say to Deuce. And then Andrew Charles says, he says, I don't know. Says some of them European soccer players make a shit ton of money. I don't know how they get that shit. And then Velasica says, hey, Blood says, what's your musical genius here? Thoughts on people saying spin that, says giving new life to hip hop. Man, them niggas is idiots. It's probably some old ratchet hood rat project, fucking low life, strip club, fucking strip club dancer or visiting ass person that says some retarded shit like that. That song got given up shit. That song is a summer anthem for some poolside shit, stripper club shit, backyard boogie shit. The anthem for people about to do shit that's gonna get investigated and possibly get their ass thrown in motherfucking federal penitentiary for white collar crime. That's about that song. The song got a little beat, little catchy, little flow to it, little rhythm to it. I think people like that. The little mama, what's her name? Young Mama's voice. She got that little. It's something about her voice, and shit. The way she talk. The song catchy, but it ain't nothing lyrical about that shit. That shit ain't no hip hop resurgence shit, and hip hop would never go towards low level ass people and hell nah, motherfuckers who party every week. That's who like that shit. Motherfuckers who gotta go club every Saturday, every Friday through Sunday and shit. They like that shit. They overturned by that shit. Hip hop wise, hell nah. And then Mark says, says I'm talking about poor countries. Says I'm talking about poor countries. Says they just put a rim on. Says they just put a rim on a tree in the yard. Says versus football. Says you need pads and helmets. Says more space. And the Deuce Time says they made more threes. He said he made more threes than you. Dudes, I clipped the video for him to show him making more shots. You fucking hating ass fool. Nigga Deuce always fucking hated, man. Make sure you hating when we play each other and shit. And then Taker says, yeah, homie says actually looking shit up. And he says I told you about the NFL, says breakthrough, says ninja, says NFL is America. Yeah, I see shit. I know that mean motherfuckers into the NFL shit like that. But NFL fans are some fucking delusional ass people. Niggas do go crazy over NFL team not winning, and niggas be having them jerseys and shit. But I thought NBA shit sold more. I thought they merchandise sold more and shit. And then Andrew Charles says, so I'm gonna put money on the white Lakers, says winning it all next season. Yeah, you do that shit. You do that shit. The Lakers gotta be extreme underdogs. But with the whitewashing going in into this country, I wouldn't be surprised if they got the Lakers marked down as the favorites to win the NBA finals. I wouldn't be surprised by that shit. And then Picasso says you probably see a motherfucking Taliban soldier in a foxhole with with an Emmitt Smith jersey on, says before you see any other jersey. And then Mark says did he look like he could did he look like he could be adopted? Hell no. Nah. I think he was a Yao Ming experiment. I think those his actual parents, like they were Chinese as well. Like that motherfucker was like gigantism or some shit. And then and the Deuce Time says, I got 5 championship trophies on me. Man, this old little league park coach talking about he got championships. Man, you coaching little league kids, which is some kids are developed and other kids ain't. Like, knock it off. You didn't win the trophies, the kids won this shit. And then the Taker says the word is don't, not Don. Says that don't mean nothing, Yanks. This nigga talk about Yanks. Says that don't mean nothing. Yanks are the only ones giving them dudes the guns. I don't know what this fool talking about. Says cop harder, Yank. And then he says Kalen got, who the hell is Kalen? Says Kalen got $670 million for 3 years. Says that's fucking crazy. Who the hell is that? And I guess that's a soccer ball. Man, them motherfuckers yeah, don't bring that soccer shit to this country, man. Keep soccer away from America. Don't nobody here like that shit. And then Rob G says, diabolical times. Yeah, that fool Deuce is diabolical ass hater, homie. He hoping the damn dude I'm helping to play could beat me and shit. And Andrew Charles says, I'm telling you, says some of these soccer dudes are billionaires. Yeah, I see them fools hyping up. What's the fool name? Ronaldo, and it's another one. What's the name? It's a Ronaldo one. And the other fool, what's that fool? It's a Christian Ronaldo. And then what's the other fool I be seeing? He from another country. What's the fools? They be trying to make it like they got the hoes in soccer. Christian Ronaldo, the one they be acting like he got the hoes. And then it's who the other fool in soccer? Those only 2 fools I knew. Like, ain't none of the African motherfuckers in that shit. Dusan says, you've been ducking me for 2 years. Says, come on, bro. Says, I'm tired of trying. Ain't nobody ducks you, fool. And then he says, I just couldn't make it to LA when the weeks you were going out there. And then Picasso says the whole Lakers team, 3-point shooters, man, they about to be 3 points under the motherfucking dirt. Them niggas about to be trash. I hope every team that plays the Lakers mash the gas on the motherfuckers. I can't wait to see this shit. And the Deuce Time says I'll show him on West Coast Wednesday. Show him what Deuce, what hip hop is. And he says Deuce Hawthorne, man. Yeah, that's exactly what Deuce is. Deuce Hawthorne. He in there rolling. And then wait, who the hell is the Taker, man? So this nigga in here joking, but talking about Deuce Hawthorne and shit. So this nigga know Fred Coonthorne ass. And then Rob G says, who ducking? And he says dude keeps saying Yanks like it's the 1750. Says that shit don't offend us. Yeah, ain't nobody white in this motherfucker. Says Messi, the other fool. Yeah, Christian Ronaldo and what's that fool name? Joe Messi or some shit. Joe Messi, Christian Ronaldo and Jose Messi or some shit. And the Taker says he the fool, says not from USA is his name. And then Raji says Deuce highlights is a pass. Yeah, they got one pass talking about somebody ducking him for a pass. He then threw out the damn front door. And he says not you, Ma, Rob. He says you can't ride Q skateboard on the gym floor. He says, oh, word. He says, do you at least know who the greatest soccer player of all time was? I heard of Pele. I ain't never watched the nigga play. I know who, because you're going to say if I knew Pele because that nigga name, that because he a black dude from Brazil. I never seen him play. I just, first time I heard of Pele was Mexicans. When Mexicans first came here and talking about Pele and shit. And some of the Mexicans watch baseball. They talked about Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron was big to these fools because then they be trying to talk like black people to like act like they know black people. They'll bring up them names. But me watching Pele, I ain't never watched that fool play. I know he black, but that's about it. And then the taker in there is dead, and he says no, I'm gonna show my 5 championship trophies like Kobe. Man, this nigga about to show 5 championship kid coach trophies. Man, you don't knock that kitty basketball championship shit. Man, your ass ain't earned one of the motherfuckers. Are you getting kid? Are you getting kid? Get the fuck out of here. And he says Leon Messi. Oh, that fool name Lionel, whatever the fuck, Leon Messi. And then Andrew Charles says, you got it. And he says, hey, Derrick James low-key admitted Charlo lost to Castano. See, I thought that was a draw as well. I thought that shit was a draw as well. I didn't like when they had where most people were saying, oh, they robbed Charlo. I was like, no, I don't think you lost. I didn't think Charlo lost. I thought that was a draw as well. Now the Harrison ones are the ones Charlo got ripped off on. The first Castano one, I didn't think that. And Andrew Charles says, just checking. Yeah, but I still don't watch soccer. I don't know about Pele. You know, the most I seen with Pele was that nigga running around the field. I think the people chasing him and them holding him up. And that fool had like a mini flat top and shit. But outside of that, I don't never gave 2 fucks about soccer. I wouldn't care if motherfucking Michael Jordan plays soccer. I would not know who Michael Jordan was. That shit. I'm American, man. I ain't grew up in them damn countries. Like if I grew up in a soccer playing country, then that's an understood thing. But man, I am true to life American. I ain't one of these American people who be doing shit to appease the people, to be like, oh, I'm down with your people and you know, I'm not like the others. Like, nah, I'm cool, but that don't mean I'm gonna watch your sport. Like shit. Don't know that shit. I ain't about I just don't do, I just can't do that shit. That's just not me. I can give 2 damns because it's a lot of Africans in soccer. I don't know who, none of the black, I couldn't name one black motherfucker in soccer. The only other black person I knew in soccer was when LA had a team, and that fool wasn't fully black. Was when they was trying to start the LA Galaxy and shit. And they would try to push, I guess their attempt was to push black people, and they try to make it cool with the mixed ass black dude Kobe Jones. Outside of that, that's the only other soccer motherfucker I knew outside of the fool Dave Beckham. I think that was a nigga named Dave Beckham. He was on it when they brought the Galaxy here, and Dave Beckham didn't even play a game. They get that nigga all that money, and that fool didn't even play in any fucking LA Galaxy games and got paid. That's why I was like, man, these niggas are stupid with that shit. And then Dusai says, he says, I don't give 2 shits about no effing soccer. Facts, Deuce. Don't no real black motherfucker care about no fucking soccer shit. Especially LA black motherfucker, unless that black fool is like, what's the black people be from in LA? Belizean and shit. And then Mark says, one thing Derrick says didn't match up. He said they was never around each other. But back when he was training them, he said he gave everybody 2 hours. And then Picasso says I think they call each other Yanks. Says like ninjas call each other ninjas. No, they don't. That's some old outdated shit. Says it's you ain't never, all these UK people been here since the boxing back and forth, ain't never called nobody a Yank. He said they be like bruv. They try to Americanize the way they talk. They say bruv. He says it's a running joke. Says the Southerners says a joke. Southerners say it's about New York. Says calling them Yankees. Says like a Kotex with a string on it. Well, Yankee is actually a fucking Brit, so a Brit wouldn't be calling nobody no Yank and shit. And then Picasso says respectfully. And then Dusan says, Mark says, you going to the Yankee Stadium? Says Jay-Z show. And then he says Kobe Jones, Yank. And then Andrew Charles says you associate soccer with your racial enemies. Says we get it. Nah, I don't have racial enemies, Andrew Charles. Unlike because you be hearing me say all this real shit about the ignorance of whitewashing in America, a standard that will never live in America. Is a standard that keeps America as a failure that it is, the standard that is keep America extremely divided. It's the standard that keeps America broke. And because it's going to be my other live stream, I might do it tomorrow. What is the biggest threat to America? And America has faced no other threat. The Soviets were never a threat to America. The Al Qaeda, Taliban, and Bin Laden has never been a threat to America. The biggest threat has been inside of America, and that's the war that America wages internally. It is called an economic war. It's just this class warfare, and this economics class, or this waging of economic classes. They got rid of the middle class. They going up whatever classes around that shit, and it's just simple as that. But it's a way to win this shit back. It's a way to take this country away from wealthy people. And that's what you see with a lot of the plans from a chump like Trump. And hopefully when the tide turns, they confiscate everything that Trump has stolen in this term that he's been in. But as far as associate soccer with, no, soccer is new, homeboy. You a white cat from Peru. You a European that went to Peru. So you've been adapted to soccer. Man, I'm a motherfucking black motherfucker from Los Angeles. And then that'll change because soccer is big with foreign groups in Los Angeles. I'm a dude from Los Angeles before the arrival of many of the Mexicans that are there now. Soccer was non-existent in my world. Like when I know what basketball, football, and basketball is. Fucking tetherball and motherfucking handball was bigger than soccer when I was coming up. He says, I remember Freddie. Says Freddie Adu. Oh, yeah. That's the young black dude who's supposed to get a contract. Yeah, I remember that fool. And he says, Mark says 2 hours. Says 2 hours isn't a lot of time. Says to train for world titles. Says especially versus Bud Crawford. Says who does 4 hour sessions. Says twice a day. Well, you can get a lot out of 2 hours. You can burn somebody out in 2 hours is more than enough time. If and that's just in a ring. All that running shit you do on your own. That motherfucker Earl wasn't living that life, drinking and all that other shit. That you ain't gonna get by doing that shit facing no Crawford. And the dude says, I thought you was going to go. And he says, wait, how did he avoid playing any games? Says after being paid. Shit, I don't know. I think he faked an injury or some shit. Let me see. Dave Beckham. They try to use that fool for PR and shit. Dave. But then it ain't David Beckham. Hold on. Beckham. LA. I ain't have to finish typing it. LA Galaxy contract. Let me see if they show that shit. Oh, he had a hidden contract clause. Let me see. Damn, this shit way from 2023. Is this the one from, I think he came there early 2000. Beckham's contract included 2 Genius. So, damn, I'm talking about this one. They got articles way in 2024 about this nigga contract. So, hidden gems that helped him earn. See, here we go. Let me pull this one up. See, this way back in 07. Let me see. 07 when he went over there. Let me pull this shit up. See, your boy be always up on this shit. Then I was thinking it's gonna be like 200 million or some shit. They showing this nigga was giving a fucking $500 million fucking contract way back in 2007. I just remember when they was always hyping this nigga up. They try to hype up. He was married to Spice Girl and shit, and they doing all this. That's where that state where they remember where they show in boxing. They used to always have them incredible fights at the because they kept changing the name. What was the name of the stadium at Dominguez? In Carson. It's on the campus of Dominguez, Cal State Dominguez. But it should be all them classic fucking fights used to be fought inside the arena, which is really a tennis arena. They put boxing matches on there, But they also on that campus is where they build the soccer arena. They built the LA Galaxy's arena there when they bringing soccer to this motherfucker. And damn, what was the name of that shit was called? That shit was called. Damn, what was the name? They keep changing the name. The PBC NBC had fight, but it's been a lot of classic fights that was happening here. But here go David Beckham's contract with the LA Galaxy that included 2 genius clauses that helped him earn $500 million. And look, this article is written in 2000. Wait, let me see. I seen it was written in 2024. That's how much they still. I didn't even know nobody talked about David Beckham's contract. I just remember that shit because I remember the nigga never played shit. I never remember hearing any of the people who's liking soccer talk about the motherfucker. So David Beckham says was ridiculed, says by many when he agreed to make a 70% pay cut, or when he agreed to take a 70% pay cut to join the LA Galaxy. But 2 unique clauses in his contract at the MLS. I don't know what MLS stands for. Is that Major League Soccer? I'm guessing Major League Soccer Club says would change everything. It remains one of the biggest transfers in football history. At the age of 31, Beckham decided to embark on a new challenge in the summer of 2007 when he left Madrid for the glitz and glamour of California. So I heard in Madrid. Is that Real Madrid? Is that the name of the team? Yeah, there you go. Real Madrid. Says he spent the past 15 years playing against Europe's elite, winning trophies with Manchester United and Real Madrid. So when he packed his bags, says for a league that was barely 10 years old, people asked questions. Says, but what many don't know of that says, but what many don't know is that Beckham made a business savvy decision in the boardroom that earned him millions. They was going to bring this sport to where here in America, the people who make soccer big or South American, Mexicans, El Salvadorian, but they bring a white dude from England and give him all this motherfucking money and shit. They go, the Home Depot Center. That's what it was. That sounds right. The Home Depot. I think that's it. He says I completed. No, not in Irvine. That shit is in Carson. Says, and to be clear, says that revenue included everything from merchandise, tickets, and sponsorships, as well as hot dogs, beer, and nachos sold at games. Says when you add up salary, endorsements, and revenue, Beckham made a staggering $255 million. His 5-year spell with the LA Galaxy, says $50 million annually. Says he may have been laughed at for taking 70% cut. Says, but the Manchester United Academy product will become the world's highest paid player during his time in California. In fact, he also negotiated the rights to buy an MLS expansion team for $25 million upon retirement, which was a genius move as Major League Soccer continues to grow in stature. So that's what this whole ass nigga did. The games he played, I ought to pull that shit up. But I don't remember that. I don't think he played in no games and shit. Niggas making bread in that motherfucker. I don't think LA Galaxy ever won shit. But of course, I ain't follow that stupid ass sport. Let me see. Of course, I ain't follow that shit. And let me see. He says, hold on, let me plug this damn shit. He plugged this computer up before it dies. What time we got here? And he says, we read, man, I'm not reading your comments, Tech. You writing retarded shit. Hold on, let me plug up. All right, there we go. And Picasso says dudes just takes the soccer ball, says and shoot it, says instant basketball. Says I competed in Irvine at Bryn College, says next to the Home Depot Stadium. Says, is that the place you thinking? Says I also saw them playing soccer there. No, the one the matter of fact, the one in Carson, I think was called the Home Depot Center. And then we got Tanaka says dropping through, saying what's up What's up? What's up? Tanaka says out of the bushes. Salute to you. I appreciate you jumping over here. Appreciate that. And then Taker says they some of the best plays to places. Man, this nigga cannot write for shit. Man, are you like a UK retard? Like you in like UK special ed classes for English and shit. It says, yo, Maz in chat says not in the chat long, says, but much love. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you being up in here, gracing us with your beauty. And then Council says we got reading. Yeah. Let me play Reading Rainbow for this old UK motherfucker that can't even write the UK language and shit of English.
And it's so funny.
Man, get off here. Get off here. I know I'm here. I'm here.
All right, we back, man, with this old non-riding UK motherfucker. And then Tanika, I'm calling your ass Tanaka and shit. Thanks for pronouncing that shit. And this fool, let me see, he says, writing them saying, man, I cannot read your writing, bro. He says, writing them, saying them on camera. Says, what's the difference? Man, learn how to write. Says Tanika, fool. Says from the most hated family over there from fucking Ben Israel, crazy ass. Man, why y'all been running that motherfucking bed crazy, man? Y'all some wild ass chicks in that what they call y'all, the T section and shit. My nigga Ben, man, y'all crazy as shit over there. I ain't caught a Ben show in a minute. That nigga always got to start with a prayer before he start calling people bitches and hoes and fuck the bitch. The bitch gonna lick my ass and all that other shit. And Picasso and the Rolling, retarded motherfucking -9. What's up, homie? Says, how can I donate so I can finally fix your hairline? Man, you can send that to the motherfucking local police station near your home so they can finally arrest your fugitive ass. Ano Boxer says, what up, good brother? Says, how's everything tonight? Says, I can't hit the link tonight because I'm back at work. Vacation was great. And then Tanika and they're rolling. Says not stupid smart. And then Ano Boxer says, who's the illiterate? Says they got hit with the video. This little UK dummy motherfucking what's this fool name? I stopped reading this shit following name, the Taker. Yeah, dumb motherfucker, the Taker. And she saying, hell no. It says SS says slow smart. It didn't know SS a screenshot. They said screenshot that shit. And the long live Weezy in the building, salute. And the Tanika says, Ben's family to me, says grew up with him. Well, you grew up with Ben crazy ass? Man, I could imagine growing up with that crazy motherfucker. That motherfucking Ben is gone, man. That nigga's so goddamn crazy, man. But I fucks with Ben. Everybody else be kicking Ben off, man. I always rock with crazy ass Ben. But you grew up with that crazy motherfucker. The Taker says I can write them phonetically. Says if that helps, bruv. Nah, you need to learn how to write your goddamn country's language. Says I'm glad Ben is serving the Lord. Says before his cursing. Yeah, nigga always said we're gonna take that. Didn't go for a prayer for 4 minutes. Then right after prayer, he talking about bitches and these bitches ain't shit and fuck these hoes and this and that. But this is my sister. What do you call the ladies? These my babies. Fucking crazy. Then he bring the chicks on. They be beefing with each other. Tanika laughing at the Taker. She says, man, says slow smart SS. Says, damn, you can't read. I'm laughing. No, I can read. You niggas can't write for shit. You motherfuckers can't write for shit. But that's why I got the Reading Rainbow shit on here. For you non-writing motherfuckers, and I'll be trying to read y'all shit sounding like the Reading Rainbow nigga. But this Taker fool, hell nah. That fool need to be reintroduced to whatever the motherfucking language courses they have over there in the UK, wherever the hell this fool from. Wherever he's from, bruv. Let me say it said, man. I'm lost on what you talking about. And then Andrew Charles says Ben will have 150 women in the chat, says on his live, says I don't get it. Man, them chicks love that crazy shit, man. This is the thing with women. Women love when dudes talk talk real man talk. They love to hear how we talk about fucking chicks, what we like about women like hearing nasty shit. Even when women be trying to, I'm a lady. They be on all that girly talk shit, trying to portray these images out in public. But women deep down love to hear how raw a dude's gonna talk. Because women be trying to play off. Women have to maintain certain personas and shit, especially for the public, especially because women are ridiculed for so much shit. But outside of shit, this goes back to the young Emmy, what are they? Young Miami song, where she can make songs like that. Cardi B can make songs. They pop. Sexy Red, all of them. They can be on so much seductive shit. Halloween, they on this Hoochie 5 shit. Like, women love to hear that shit busted open. What is the first thing a woman can do? She can play the role in a relationship. The minute that relationship ends, what's the first thing she ready to do? Bust that thing wide open. So, of course, they be wanting to hear this shit. And then Tanika says, Andrew Sauce says, and we all hang together in chats. Yeah, y'all was trying to. Well, I don't know if I can't say it was you, but the chicks I heard was destroying Ben. Man, I know my nigga channel got his first channel got taken, so he in my club but getting channels terminated. And it says I ain't mad at him, and it says she says Andrew says I get it, and then the taker says I was just trying to make them easier to read. Says I'm on the floor rolling. Says almost choked. And he in there laughing. I mean, I'm even lost on what you writing and shit. But I'm trying to think if this I Know Boxing says wasn't me 100. No, who got his channel taken? Because then I see it was another chick that was going in on Ben, going in on him for a while, because she used the live stream that I had and Ben got over here. And then she flipped that on what how Ben talks over here versus how he talks over there. I'm like, man, y'all crazy as shit. Y'all crazy shit. Then y'all had a boxing scholar terrified of y'all. Picasso says Reggie can read, says, but his sleep apnea says got him taking a breather, says every 4 words. Says no, y'all motherfuckers y'all reading this just. I mean, not y'all reading, y'all writing this horrific. It says Reg plays full court by himself. Says so you get that so you get that cardio up. Says chasing the ball. I don't know what the hell Picasso even talking about. Says it was wild. The chicks over there, wow, the way y'all be going at each other, y'all be tearing each other down. I'll be like, damn, y'all cold-blooded. Says salute to the host. Says Epic Live. Yes, indeed. Salute to the Brit motherfucker who can't write for shit. I know Boxy in there rolling. And he says everybody click. Says everybody click. Says IFKS. Says what the hell is IFK? I'm an old motherfucker, so I don't know these acronyms. Says, oh, she says on my screen, it's all put together, but let me see on the TV, it says everybody clicked up. She says I fucks with the boxing scholar. So she cool with the boxing scholar. Boxing scholar scared of y'all though. That nigga always telling me, man, don't mess with the what y'all call the damn, what they call that, the T sector. Don't mess with the T sector, they different. And then the taker says, smash the like button, yanks. And then Rob G and the rolling on the box, it says, yeah, Red says, you're reading this horrible, Slim. No, y'all writing this horrible. And it Tanika says, I didn't click. Says, shout out to, what she says, I didn't click. Says, shout out to Sammy. Sammy, another one I heard. Sammy, I didn't heard a couple of y'all names. And then he says an eye exam says like $140, says maybe less, says look into it. No, my eyes is cool. It's just on this screen. When I see it on the TV, it comes out clear. But I ain't gonna front like I don't need glasses. I do need them, motherfucker. But no, niggas really can't write in this motherfucker. She says I'm not a she says I'm not a sector, says but fuck with them. Oh, because you like that drama too, and you be liking hearing that freaky shit too. That's what it is. A lot of these women out here be liking that freaky shit, and I think everybody do, man. We live in a very sexual ass world, and we also live where people have to play these, these. A lot of people have duality and shit. A lot of people have to be conscious about how they come off when they're around this environment. Then they can switch up into being this and that. and people have to hide that shit. Yeah, it's cool to have to hide some shit that needs to be held to a certain level of discretion. You don't want to be saying certain shit around kids and this and that while trying to be adults. But a lot of women be loving to be on freaky shit. They get in that certain settings. They can't just be openly and stating shit because it's gonna be a bunch of these suck ass dudes that label women as hoes because he is mad because they can't fuck that shit. It's just a lot of sucker shit, but a lot of women be having to hide shit. Some women be liberated. They don't give a fuck. They just don't give a fuck. They gonna do what they gonna do, and that's just what it's gonna be. Some women is wrong with how they go about that shit as well. But I like when women are liberated as long as they clean with their shit. As long as they exclusive when they in exclusive relationship. I think if you're gonna be committed with some people with another person, you make some commitment. There's an agreement that you learn how to be exclusive towards that person. But some people in this day and age play around with love and shit. And then Tanika says ninjas. Sammy Queen says Sammy Queen smoke. See, I gotta check more into Sammy. I always hear Sammy's name. I never really watched the live with her like that. I know Boxer says, hey, Red says how come Ben Israel says got more females than you? But why? Look how dumb you are. Look how dumb your writing is. Then they put the question mark, says got more females than question mark. You need to step your game up, little homie. Man, that sounds like what I was just talking about with how dudes are suckers. I ain't about to compete with Ben. If Ben got where the bitches at, then that's what it is. Are the women at? Then that's what it is. Let Ben be the spot where the chicks at. We just have to go over there. Sucker ass hater, but you gotta learn how to write properly too. Says I suggest you soak up the game. Says Asian math be trying to give you sure. And let me go to the next comment. And Andrew, Picasso to Andrew says, Andrew, they charged me about $200 for my eye exam. Says this year, says for some shit. Seemed like they made the shit up. Says I'm a file on my taxes. For my shit, I don't think I gotta pay nothing. I don't think I gotta pay shit for glasses. I just gotta go. I just gotta not procrastinate. That's the only thing. But see, that's the only thing I'm missing by not getting, because if I have a relationship, I'll have a chick to do that kind of shit. But then I'm a type of dude that be like, I don't want a motherfucker telling me shit. That's the other thing. Or be trying to control shit. Like, so I'll be missing out on making appointments. I'll be always saying that shit. And then Tanika says, are any of y'all coming over to speed dating? Sammy has forms. What the hell says Sammy has forms? Says it would be fun. Forms. What the hell is the forms for? Like to fill out? What is that? Drop Sammy's page in here. Drop Sammy's page in the chat. And Aldo Boxing says it was what he says it was he said it was a mistype. So no, it wasn't. That's how your dumb ass right. Old dummy and shit. See, Tanik, you don't need to mess with no old retarded motherfuckers like I know boxing. Andrew Charles says Picasso says I only had one exam since my whole life. Pretty recent, says, but it improved my quality of life without a doubt. CJ in the building. What's up, CJ? And then Tanika says Picasso says, hell yeah, says you should be good, says for 2. So you should be good for 2 a year. CJ in the building. What's up, nephew? CJ in the building. And then Tanika says, yeah, Reggie says for speed dating. Man, drop the link. Some of these niggas want to speed date. I'm a hoe. I ain't in no dating and shit. I be want to get right to the point. I'm still my old nasty, freaky ass self. I ain't doing none of that dating shit. Whether we cool, we get connected like that, then we do our own shit. I'm not a dude that just treat women like they just meant to give it up and all that shit. But all that sucker shit, whining and dining and trying to, like, no, let the next nigga do that. I always been like that. I'm not going out on no dates. You can let the next nigga take you out. That's why I've never been on that shit, because I done known chicks to do this dating, be trying to make they be doing the most to try to win over, bro. And then come kicking with me, and I'm just legs up in the air. Like, fuck up out of here. Whether we connect, we laugh, we kick it, we cool. But the minute you start kind of selling down, things change up. They want to nag, they want to argue, shit go astray. Now we cussing each other out. You're mad every other 5 seconds. I don't got time for that shit. My tolerance for that shit is so low. Dating, fuck no. Whether we connect, we like each other lives, we love to make each other laugh. I'd rather fuck with that shit. We know how to be ourselves. It ain't got to be begging for you to be up under me every 5 seconds. Like, man, that's the type of shit I want. Until I know I find that shit, or a chick ain't just playing that shit. Nah. And then you have your own shit. I have mine. Like, shit. And then out of the box it says Red says you should try the speed dating. It says it might help you. Says to get out that room. When you don't see me on live and all that other shit, I'm outside of my house. So what are you talking about, Auto Boxing? You stuck to an old ass lady. You ain't fucking, nigga. You talking? Don't push that marriage shit on me. You stuck and locked and trapped to bust your ass till you almost about to die and sign all the shit you to work for that lady you live with who ain't even letting you fuck the same pussy you've been getting for the last 30, 40 fucking years. Nigga, please. Don't ever try to trap me with that shit. I'm a free ass nigga. I get up out of here, go bust a bitch, go call a bitch that I'm already probably doing shit you niggas don't know nothing about with already. Like, man, my shit, I'm cool. You niggas is stuck. She says you drop it. Let me see. Boom. Let me go to Sammy's page. Hold on. So she wants y'all over there. These trick ass niggas, y'all can bust them over the head. These niggas some tricks up in his motherfucker. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. These niggas be in here tricking. Especially older niggas in here. They some super tricks. I'm all about helping women with the game and shit. Let me see. In my mind, I think I'm a pimp. So yeah, let me go ahead and put this in here. Let me put Sammy Page in here. Well, I thought I was subscribed to Sammy. Hold on. Because I sure be getting her videos and shit. And let me see. I'll put her last video. Hold on. But see, but this the other thing. Y'all spaces be for women. That's the other thing we was having to talk about when people talking about y'all shit. The what's y'all call this shit? The T-sec. That's for women though. That was the other thing we had talked about over here. That's the other reason why I don't be catching that shit like that. Because this space is supposed to be a space for like women and shit. Because y'all like the gossip. I think it's soft for dudes to be around women gossip, unless women want to talk about romantic shit. That's the only time I want to be around women, when they want to talk romance and shit. Or talk, especially if they ready to talk freaky. That's when I want to be around. I want to be around chicks that like to really talk, not all that fake shit. Bring me roses and diamonds. What you bring to the table? Oh no, you can bring I know boxing and Asian math for them over for that. What you bring to the table? Shit. Picasso says Andrew says, what the hell is that? CO says CO to the dentist. I don't know what you meant. To the dentist today says before you lose your teeth. Or you meant go. Talking about y'all be talking about me not reading. These niggas don't be writing right. The nigga meant to put go. And then Tanika says I'm not a mod, but look up, just call me Sammy, says it's for fun. And she's saying damn, says oh, says gotta get all them exams out the way. On the box it says we don't believe you, fam. Says how you have women, says and you never leave that room, says our chains that shirt. Man, I guess it is what it is. I don't change shit. These some nasty bitches did shit. And then he says, hot mods help me out. She in there rolling. Angie Charles says, I take care of my teeth, says, but I was in denial, says about my eyes until someone called me out. Says I'm fucking shit up all the time. Says, and then they gave me a pair of readers, says to try, and then all I says, and then what the fuck that says? Oh, it says, and then AI. Oh, that's supposed to be then I knew. You motherfuckers can't write. I'll be telling y'all. I guess that's a typo, another typo. And he says it's for friendship too. Says it's for friendship too, though. Says it's fun. Says I'll be there. Says I'll be there. Says but not probably going to participate. All right, so has she done one already? I know boxing and rolling because I'm telling the truth. She told me to drop. Y'all put her channel in the chat. Look, I know boxing. We had to laugh about that shit. I said he stuck with the same pussy from like 40 years ago. Shit, you niggas is stuck, homie. But for me, I've never been a marriage person from like a young age. I didn't try relationships, and even it'd be crazy like the relationships I got, and that's when I was on my whole phase. But look, this would be the thing. I used to get burnt out on that shit. Like just, I used to be on a hunt. Like, let me see how many bitches I'm gonna knock down. This and then that should be like, that shit get burnt out. Like, what the fuck am I doing this shit? And then I used to be tripping because I used to go through in some of like bad, like I said, I used to be going in crazy ass places because a lot of dudes get killed over poo nanny. A lot of people will get killed, and to this day still getting killed over chasing poo nanny, going in the wrong environment with a bunch of sucker, non-pussy getting ass dudes. See a motherfucker rolling up to go knock down some old fine bitch that they need to be wishing and they never knocking down. And some dudes just be hating on that shit, or some dudes just don't trust outside motherfuckers coming in their neighborhood. But boy, these bitches be so goddamn seductive. You would go right in that motherfucker. Go right in that motherfucker. You do not give a shit. Well, I know that's how I was. I don't know about you other motherfuckers. And then and would not do no tricking. That's why I don't believe in all that dating shit. I used to get laid without none of that shit. And then it'd be like, now it's getting older. It's a lot of bitches desperate. It's a lot of bitches coming out of relationships, heartbroken, want to get back at a nigga. Like, fuck am I rushing for? It's a lot of this shit out here. Or bitches see you with certain shit, think you got money, and someone want to act like they ain't gonna ask you for money. It's all type of ways of getting this shit, homie. It's all type of ways of getting this shit. But at my age, there's so many bitches coming up out this motherfucker, out of these relationships that they've been in for a long time, hurt, feel like they waste their time, but they back trying to get out and having fun, and you have a good conversation with them. They see you doing your own thing. You show confidence. That's why I say I'm gonna get chicks whether I'm skinny, fit, or fat, or back in shape. I'm a still crack because all about conversation. It's all about conversation. And then let me see, because it'd be some fools can be cool, dress cool, but ain't got no conversation, no game, and a bitch will not be around. Like, no, you gotta be completed with shit. Says she said, what's that? Taker says, man, a friend is just someone you haven't had sex with. Someone you haven't had sex with yet. That's what that shit is. And then Tanika says, thank you. And then Taker and they're rolling. Taker said, Tanika says, it's all fun, testosterone needed, in my opinion. Absolutely. See, women love to hear that shit. Women be loving to hear that shit. The dirty talk, all that shit. And then Tanika says, are you hurt? Says, are you hurt, Reggie? Says, see if so. Hurt by what? She says, typo if. Typo if. Says, are you hurt, Reggie? If so, what she say? What does that mean? Hurt from what? Hell nah. That hurt? No. A lot of people be thinking I'm heartless because I don't be treating shit like no, not at all. I just speak on the fact of why I go about the way I move through life. Like why I don't be looking for like the relationships. I've tried that shit. Like, you get connected with a chick, you fucking around, be like, damn, the vibe from this chick is just like on point with what I like. And it matches. But the minute that shit start to like go in some other direction, hey, like hell nah. Says what she says it means hugs to you. Oh no. You would never hear me no hurt shit. You don't hear me bashing chicks. I don't bash chicks like that, but I be saying why I just be like all throughout life, all I be wanting to do is just be on some, but that's what most relationships about. The happiest moments in relationships is when people are still romantic with one another. People still look at each other and get turned on by each other. That's what shit's supposed to be. So me to talk the way I talk on sexual shit, like that's the best time in relationships. The minute people's sexual shit is dead in the relationship, then your relationship is dead unless you on some librarian ass shit. Unless you've been together for a long time. I'll take that back. Because you've been with somebody for a long time, the sex don't matter. But now those two people, sex may not matter to them, but you out here trying to fuck people outside the relationship. It says it's all testosterone. She says it's all fun, testosterone needed. Tanika says you can't come. Says you had everybody in the uproar. Who I did over what? What did I say? Did I say something wrong? She says, Reggie, you can't come. Says you had everybody. Damn, what the hell I do? I had everybody in the uproar, or was that from the shit when Ben? Tell me what I did. Write that shit in the chat. And let me see. Let me wait for the chat. It says, to all the new people in the chat, says, we come here to help our little brother Red. Says, get the courage. Says, to talk to women. This nigga here. Says, Red says he think women got cooties. This nigga hated hated nigga stuck with 40-year-old pussy. That nigga girl pussy wrapped in mummy tissue and shit. That cooch wrapped up. Nigga mummified pussy in your house. You doing all these hours of work to go to motherfucking King Tut wrap coochie. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Let me stop talking for that nigga go home. And my words manifest while that nigga at home with his wife. He talking about divorcing her and shit. Like a sucker. And then Casa says, I told my girlfriend when the love and happiness gone, says, what's she gonna be? Says, what's she gonna be with me for? She said respect and responsibilities. Man, but a chick gotta fulfill that shit, because a lot of chicks that say that sweet shit, they gotta fulfill that shit. And like I said, a lot of relationships I had, like, and this other cold thing, for a lot of chicks who ain't still bitter and shit, a lot of exes still talk to me, or we have talks, and them bitches they ain't got no negative shit to say about me at all. They ain't got no negative shit to say. They may have hated me after the way I let that shit go. Man, it take nothing for me to let a bitch go or kick her to the curb or let that shit in. I will not fight for a relationship, nigga. That shit is over with. And then Tanika says Ben is forever. Ben is forever. Ben is for everybody. That's what she said. Ben is for everybody. He says meaning men and women. Says meaning men and women talking. And let me see. Andrew Shaw says for sure. So shout out to the new faces in the chat. Says nice to meet you. And let me see. The Taker says it's called the T sector. Says really, man. This is motherfucking the boxing scholar right here. This is who the fuck this is writing that shit. I knew I figured out when you wrote the shit about calling Deuce Hawthorne and shit. I know exactly who that is. And now you respond to this shit about T-sector because you fear these chicks. He says it's called the T-sector. Says it's called the T-sector. Really says, but they call it the T-sector. It says they to keep it on the low. This is Boxing Scholar. Man, this nigga always hiding his identity and shit. She says, who is actually says who? Says actually a lot of cool women with careers, says that chop it up. Oh, and the thing, I wish more women to come on camera and shit. I hate women that hide behind like letters and don't show pictures of themselves, like especially on be on here to talking, but then some people don't be wanting people who may know them in real life to see them and shit, or hearing them talk a certain way. A lot of people want to be exclusive and hidden. Like I understand that shit. But I think people need to break out of these shells of having to hide who they are, worried about judgment from a bunch of pussy ass people in this country. I think it's time to put pussy ass people and their pussy ass thoughts to the bottom of your motherfucking boot. Like fuck what people got to talk. Be yourself. We're adults. We should be allowed to talk. We shouldn't be, forced to be conformed to how we are to express ourselves, and you forced into the world or opinion of another motherfucker to control your thinking. Fuck all that. And then the taker says, pretty sure men are welcome, says, and encourage. And then that's the Boxing Scholar. The taker motherfucker is the Boxing Scholar. And then Tanika says her first one, Red, says, we promoted you, says, and then women turned in, says it turned in the herd. You saying bitch. Oh, that's what it is. Man, I don't mean nothing by that shit. Oh shit. Oh, that's what it was. Hey, y'all be saying that shit to each other and shit. And then Tanika says, since I get it, says, but damn, says I want some men, says to sign up and come through, says I support. And let me see, I don't know boxing, but can y'all hold off on the comments? I'm ready to get off of this motherfucker. And then Boxing says, facts, Slim, says there's a lot of brothers pushing up daisies, says for messing with the wrong women. Absolutely, homie. Trust me, I know that shit. That's why I be looking back like, or even today, it's still dangerous fucking with a lot of these bitches and shit. Because on the other end, you deal with not like the dangerous fucking with certain bitches, but it's a lot of suck ass niggas out here. Or how bitches can get lines crossed up. Or bitches who may be hurt and want to get back at another nigga and bringing you into the fray, and this old crazy stalker ass motherfucker. Now you dealing with a confrontation with this motherfucker, and it be like, man, it be you gotta be cautious about who you fucking with. And like I said, there's a lot of these bitches who be in these fake ass broken apart relationships that are only meant to try to get back, or maybe this nigga got they ain't for she broke up, but maybe this nigga. She caught this fool cheating and shit. Want to get back at the motherfucker. Now you caught in the midst of that shit. And then, matter of fact, they just recently had a fool get smoked in the store behind the dude girl in here texting the nigga she worked with. And I guess she flipped it like he been getting this old pussy ass dude go to the job, get beat up by the dude, and then pull a gun on him and kill him and shit. It's a lot. You see a lot of that shit. And it'd be like I said, you just got to be real cautious of how you go about that shit. Or you get chicks that you been with try to turn your situation in some old shit where you having a take it to another level with motherfuckers. And then Tanika says, are you hurt? She says, if so, she put us some hugs in there. Absolutely not. A lot of people would think I'm heartless, like I stated, but I'm not. I'm not heartless. I just don't believe in being emotional about shit and weak about shit. And I believe this is my thing. I don't own no bitch that I ever fuck with. Any bitch I've been in a relationship, I don't own you. So therefore, I do not possess you. I do not control you. Relationships got to end. I treat it like this. It was at a point where we never knew each other. We were like ships in the night. We'll sail right by each other. So when things go bad, you have to let things go. Like, and a lot of people be thinking, oh, you fucked up. Like you supposed to cry over shit. And it's like, hell no. Nah. Or then this be the other things. I've always heard this from like older cats coming up, man. It's going to be one that's going to really break you apart. And so I always used to maintain that shit. Like, man, that shit ain't about to happen to me. I never go through that shit. And I watch motherfuckers go through some debilitating shit. I watch people suffer through alcoholisms over breakups. Some motherfuckers, some anger, bitter motherfuckers over breakups and all that. Like, man, I refuse to go down that lane. Nigga, I loves me. I loves me and I love Coochie. But you ain't about to see me striking out. Fuck no. Like I say, for breakups, the most that shit I heard, because you're going to have a bitch you be thinking about like, fuck, I let my bad one go. All that shit gonna hurt. Man, for me, the most that shit ever hurt, maybe, yeah. It ain't gonna be no 2 week shit. It may be like a good week, but tearing, hell no, just be like, fuck, damn, dude, should I call her back? Should I get back? Hell no, like, fuck that, man. That bad start outweighing the good shit. Like, hell no. And then Andrew Charles says back in the day, says if I just stood somewhere long enough, says a woman would come up, says, and talk to me. That's all you need. And then you gotta have the confidence. Some dudes get afraid to even have conversations with women. Over this internet shit, people probably try to pop shit at women because through the computer to try to look a certain way because the dudes in here watching. But in real life, a lot of dudes be afraid to conversate with a woman. Conversate, like to talk, to even say hi to a chick. Some dudes be afraid and shaky on that shit. And then because I'm like I say, women have a lot of power in this game and shit. Women possess a lot of power in this game. And some of them know that shit. And then Tanika says it means hug. She's talking about her mean. And then out of boxes, the Tanika says, you done messed up now. Says, we don't talk about Reg hurtful, heartbreaking. Says, we don't talk about Reg hurtful heartbreaks on this channel. Man, I haven't heard no heartbreaks like that. Absolutely. I'm not y'all. I'm not y'all. And that's what people be thinking like, oh, I'm heartless. I'm a emotionless, like I said. And that's far from the case with me. But I don't get why people cry so much. That's the other thing. Tanika was laughing at Arnold Boxing. Tanika says the women were flooding. Says the women were flooding watching. Says, but the ladies didn't like the language. Oh, see, I know the chicks like when they hear the way I talk, but I know sometimes this shit gonna rub them wrong. They like to hear the shit that I be saying. I like to cuss though. I do use cussing words. I do use cuss words a lot, but it ain't no harm. You don't hear me using it in a disrespectful manner and shit. I'm about to say you don't hear me saying it disgracefully, but it is disgraceful shit. And then she says they just want to jump. They just want to jump you now. What time to bring her on? I love to be jumped by the women. Shit, yeah, come jump on me. And then Picasso says. He says, Reggie says, I got a cousin. Says, I got a cousin about your size. Said about your size. Says, works at the hospital, right? Says, we were driving. Says, just so happens to be on the strip. Says, he saw a chick. Says, so he jumped out the car. Says, and hollered in her. Says, and hollered in his scrub. Says, and she ran. He must have got out aggressively. Shit, dog. If you jump out like that, it look like you running from a damn one of them damn crazy hospitals and shit. It's probably what the hell she thought. Thought that nigga was escapee and shit. And then Tanika says, everybody else sign up. She says, Reggie, I'm not speaking for myself. Says, yo shit was played everywhere. I seen one of the video. Damn, the women over in the T sector like me like, oh, I fuck with y'all. I fuck with the T sector women, man. Bring y'all asses on. Arnold Boxer says, not the mummy coochie. Yeah, you 40-year-old coochie. That shit mummified, homie. That motherfucker, they got mummified cooch. Arnold Boxer says, Boxer Scholar in here on a burner phone, says with his fake alias. Yeah, the Boxer Scholar always on that fake shit. And then Tanika says, I agree. Says, but guys don't do it either. Says, but folks get doxed. Says, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't get the dox shit. Never heard the word dox to get on this internet. Recently, in the last 2 years, hearing people, talk about finding people's location, who they are, and all that other shit. And then when they do it, don't do nothing. And then Tanika says, the Boxer Scholar says, let me find out. Yeah, that's the Boxer Scholar. Is that nigga playing like a UK fool? And then Picasso says, come out the Scholar, Boxer Scholar. Rob G shaking his head. He says, Larry's his motherfucking Boxer Scholar is shit. The bluest cover and shit. And then let's see, on the boxing, Picasso says she ran. Says she thought your cousin was trying to snatch her. Hell yeah, I don't blame the chick for running. You don't jump out on no chick like that, especially if she a hoe. Shit, them bitches deal with serial killers and kidnappers, fools trying to toot and boot them and don't pay them and shit. Them chicks ain't going for that shit. And then being a trick out on the streets is for people who ain't black and shit. And then Tanika says stop saying bitches. At some time when it's like certain conversations, it'd be hard for me not to say it, but just keep telling me, I'll be reminded. I do cuss freely. And then Picasso says, yeah, says my cousin got back in the car, says, and I was laughing because he didn't see why she ran. Yeah, you run out in scrubs, think you like a doctor. You actually look like a healthcare patient, you like a mental health patient. You run out of car and shit. And then on the Boxer says, the Boxer Scholar in here says, hiding in the cut, pretending to be a white dude, typing. And then the Tanika says, I get it. She says, I get it. Says, but I'm Reggie. Says, you are representing other men over here. Says, fucking up the fun. Nah, I ain't fucking up nothing. I knew you T-sector chicks like that shit. I knew when I saw that one chick playing the video, I could hear her in her voice. Like, she liked hearing what I was saying. A lot of chicks be liking to hear when they hear what I say. Shit. That's why I think I'm gonna always be I'm gonna always be relevant enough to stay single and shit. And then Picasso says the boxing scholar says getting this boogeyman on, and he says, and then she talking about herself. And then Tanika says I would like the guys to come through. Says conversations will be had. All right, so when is the show? Because I don't see her when I was on Sammy's page. I don't see the scheduled show. I don't see that scheduled show you talking about. I don't see that schedule. Oh, this is her application. She really made a motherfucking application. Oh my God. It ain't even a date on that shit. She got a damn application. It says dating show. That shit crazy. It is crazy, but that'd be fun. I'll check it out, but she need to put a date on that so we can tune in. Andrew Charles says I love 3 women in my life. Man, I can't, you know what? I don't think I ever been in that point to where I say I love the chick like that. I had feelings and care for them. Even to this day, I still do care for a lot of these chicks. I like all the chicks because I done messed with some cool ass chicks. I done messed with a lot of cool chicks. But to say I had like feelings and love, especially because I was so young and I never, like I say, like I can't say I've been in love with. I thought they were like the cooler ones, but then they end up being crazy. I can't say I've been in love, but I think it's in the age I live in. I think I come up in the age of where it'd be like, is that shit really love? Like, hell, I come up in the age where I don't think people really know how to love like that. I think people are looking for what they can get out of shit. They look for trying to weigh you up with other options and shit. So I never really fully gave to where I've overcommitted. I think people who say they love people are people who just go over the top for shit. And those be the ones who, when those relationships break up, they're the ones in here crying. They're running to their friends, emotional and this and that. I never been to that point. I never ever seen myself cry over no breakup. Like it just ain't me. Some people love hard though. I'm not a person that love hard. You'll never see me stalking a chick. A chick ain't got worried about me blowing her phone up, pleading for her. And I think that shit probably fuck a lot of chicks up. Is that I'm not about when we say we broke up, I ain't about to call you. I let that shit go. And then Tanika says they boycott. She said they boycotted my ass. They done boycott. They better boycott me and shit. Patricia Shelton in the building. Salute to my sister Patricia Shelton. She said, ladies done boycotted me. I'm gonna come by and just say hello to him. Picasso says, hold on, let me let that comment pop up and then get off of here. Picasso says if I lose a super bad chick. Says it's like getting the bad hand of dominoes. Says I get over it. Hold on, let me go back. Says I get over it in the says in about 5, 4, 3, 2. Now what we're talking about again, like even like bad, like it ain't even about that. Like some chicks it'd be like if they got like it can't even be like it's just a chick with like she got fire sex and all that shit. It got to be for me. It's a combination. But like I say. If I'm gonna be like, damn, I missed this little bitch for like let me not say that word with Tanika in the building. Damn, I miss her motherfucking ass. But for a few days, but it'd be like, but this motherfucker is lightweight retarded acting as fuck. Like, oh hell nah. I'm like, man, the shit just outweighed the bad start getting bad, or maybe it's another motherfucker involved in shit. And it'd be like, oh, hell no. Like, no, I gotta let that one go. Yeah, I'll get over that shit. But then you be thinking about that shit. And then you be like, man, you think about that. But shit, you can, man, fuck, it's ways to get over a bad chick. You didn't had shit. I can fantasize about you, bitch. And get over you. Get you out of my motherfucking system. And so it'd be just like that. But I don't think I ever been to where I'd be like overboard on that shit. But that used to be my thing. Especially when I used to be recording bitches, I used to be fucking like shit. I'm gonna get a few off on this motherfucker, rewatch this shit, and it's over with. I'm good, bitch. And then Tanika says my earpiece just came back. She laughing at Picasso Bones. And then Tanika says they was digging you. I knew they had to. Says don't set up your homies. Says don't set your homies. She says don't set up your homies for failure. She said they was digging you. Oh yeah, the T sector. And then she says I said that's how men talk. Yeah, and that's the other thing with chicks. A lot of chicks, we want to control how dudes talk. A lot of them want to talk, control how dudes talk. But I won't. It's certain. I won't talk to a chick like this. I ain't gonna call no chick no B, this and that, or none of that. Just like a chick wouldn't call no dudes the N word, like chicks like to do. Chicks talk a certain way about dudes around chicks, but then I don't think they do. They won't do it around a dude unless they get mad at that dude. Then they'll start talking in such derogatory language to address them and shit. So these chicks understand. These chicks be liking when they hear that shit. And the Picasso says love is used as an illustration, in my opinion. Says I just say it because it gets you further to the beginning of the end, says of the chapter. But it be like I think some people, the love is a complicated goddamn thing. And I think some people think when they go in a relationship that's love. Like, absolutely not. Like, I think love is more from people that know each other. You may have known each other before actually find each other. Some shit, some attraction comes from like lust type shit. Like, damn, she bad. I want that. I'm a pursuit. I gotta have her, but not really knowing her, not getting to see the other unique things about her and shit. And I think some people never get that. Some people just rush into passion and shit and want to be with this one. It'd be so good because then you get in this possessive shit. I think that's just the human side of shit. You get into possessive type behaviors, and I think it's the natural instinct of not wanting anybody to have her. So now you're guarded. And then also when people become very guarded over people, they become insecure. That's the other problem with people is the insecurities. And that's not really love. Love is to where you can trust the motherfucker. You don't got to worry about shit. We live in the age of the phone, like this, that, and shit. I think it'd be worse if older people lived in the age of phones because older motherfuckers are insecure as fuck, especially the older dudes. You live in that age and shit. You come home from working in the damn rail yard and the chick on her phone texting the motherfucker. And he done did all days coming and slapping her ass, breaking the phone every week. And but it's I don't know, love is complicated. That's some complicated shit. And if Picasso says, but then it's even like where you be coming to a point where you be like trying to figure if you do love the person, can you trust? But it's that trust shit is a motherfucker because a lot of people play a lot of games. People play on each other's hearts. The factors of financial shit, who got more, who you being entertained, like that's the other factors. The external factors of relationship can start to create issues in a relationship. And see me, I know all these things. Like I said, because I follow the game, I watch shit. And I be like knowing what I ain't about to put myself through that shit. And people should not play with love. Like you make a commitment and think about this part of love. Like you make this commitment with motherfuckers, go in a relationship to build stuff. Some people go as far as buying homes together. And then you watch them break apart and have to divide and lose all this shit. And then some people use relationships when they break up to try to destroy people financially. Now that's the worst. And then this was supposed to be love. Like that shit ain't love. That shit is just two people looking or somebody looking to try to get whatever they can get out of somebody. But now they're going into this point of trying to destroy somebody. I mean, literally trying to destroy. Some people may wish death upon people. Some people even achieve the point of getting you heard and getting you taken out of here over their hurt and all this other shit. And then you watch the shit with the divorces. Like some divorces is nasty, but it's like, damn, they treat each other like that and they're supposed to love each other. That shit is wild. And then Tanika says everybody was mobbing the support though. And then Picasso rewriting the word illusion. Guess he had a misspell. And the Tanika says, don't say it. Says, don't say it unless you mean straight up. Says, I won't. She said 100%. Says, I won't. Says, wait, what? Why are you writing that? Says, don't say, oh, you mean love? She said, don't say it unless you mean it. Straight up 100%. Says, I won't. She says, I won't. She said, laughing for nothing. Oh, you won't say you love somebody? And she says, it's my fingers. She says, what did she say? It's my fingers buzz. Well, what that mean? Like you playing with yourself? What you mean your fingers buzz? Says it's my fingers buzz. She got smoked. I don't know what she mean by that. And she says, says ninjas are says ninja. Oh, she asked a ninja, are you a Scorpio? No, me, that sign shit. No, I'm a Virgo. No, I'm a Virgo. Like, what is a Scorpio? I'm hearing that. I don't follow astrology at all. I don't know that shit. A lot of people think that's how they find their connections, and they never find that shit. Oh, she said that means typo. Well, why you just want to write typo? But a lot of people think that astrology shit means something. That shit don't mean two bits of shit. People be thinking they gonna find they sign, they find a motherfucker they luckily land on with this sign, and them motherfuckers being there whooping each other ass, abusive. You going through mental trauma with this motherfucker. That's the other thing that people like to pull, and especially women like to pull this shit to try to bash niggas. Is when they find a nigga who ain't physically abusive to them, they start paying you as being psychologically abusive and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's the other thing people got to stop trying to do. Trying to use words to try to destroy like these things that people hang over people by attaching them to abuse and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. People love to do that shit. And she says, oh shit, I get it. Says I don't she says I get it. Says I don't either. Yeah, I don't believe in astrology. I don't think that shit links anybody to anything. Some people live and die by that retarded shit. I think when you find somebody that is of a likeness or even totally opposite, but as long as you having fun and for women, a lot of women just value that's the other thing with women. A lot of women just value the relationships off of fun and shit. In this modern age, you just can't sit and chill with a lot of chicks. I'll be wanting a chick that likes to just chill at times. Picasso says, can you go in a candy? Was that supposed to be a store? Picasso says, can you go in a candy? And he got a lollipop. I guess he meant a store. He forgot to write the word store. That's why y'all be killing me with trying to read y'all comments. Says, can you go in a candy store, pick your favorite candy, and not want to sample the others? Oh, I get what you said. Not want to sample the other pieces of candy. Temptation is more powerful than love. But if you love somebody, not really. Cause it'd be like this. Like when I'm with a chick that I really like and shit, in mind, I'm a horn dog ass nigga at times. I don't think about other bitch. I can shut that shit off. Like I can shut that shit off and not be tempted by shit. Now, when the chicks start making relationship unfun and it's like the relationship, like you always worried if you're gonna make the motherfucker mad, and you finding cracks within what you once have and shit, then temptation becomes easier than a motherfucker. But even with me, still, while relationship is still on, I still won't go out seeking other chicks. Like, and that's one thing that a lot of motherfuckers would never ever believe, that I'm really like that. Like, to be on some honest shit, I can't say I stepped out like that unless the relationship just all the way fucked up. And it's just meant to be a fool to not take the opportunity to go fuck some other pussy. Like, shit, you crazy as fuck. I'm about to go over here and put my face in it. And then Tanika says you're a Virgo, I get it. Says more than you know, okay? Says I was checking your bluntness. Says no harm, no foul. Oh, so that means I fit the sign of that shit being a Virgo? Yes, indeed. She laughing at Picasso. But no, Picasso wrote some real shit. He wrote some real shit in that comment. She says love gives you tunnel vision, says our great connection. Yeah, that's true. Like when you really love somebody, you can cut other bitches out the motherfucking pictures. You won't put yourself in a position where you entertained by shit. You learn how to shut shit off from other bitches. Your chick learn to shut shit from all other dudes, and you locked in with one another and shit. Now the minute shit start getting funky and shit, chicks allowing the opinions of other motherfuckers. Like with me, when I'm with, I don't be want to meet chicks external motherfucking support group. I don't be wanting to, I can care less to meet their parents because I didn't meet you around your fucking parents. So therefore I don't want to hear their opinions. When shit get bad, I don't want it, other people gonna have things to say if you got people all in your business and shit. I don't want to meet your friends because that'd be the other mistake some chicks make, especially when if they in relationships where motherfucker in there, you in there just knocking that shit down. These bitches in there. And the one mistake chicks make is chicks talking about how well you fuck them and shit. If a chick in there, you just got her mind blown in the motherfucker, and she in there running to her friends, talking about how great you is and you this and that, you best believe them friends will be sneaking because a lot of chicks just be having friends that have friends and want to be the popularity shit. And have a friend that will fuck anything they got because they in competition with your ass. Them bitches be around trying to sneak you a little, pull the panty to the side, coochie and shit. It be a lot of that shit going on. So you got to keep your shit exclusive and your mouth shut. Same thing with dudes, your homie. It's some of your little snake homies that try to fuck your bitch. And then Tanika says straight up with no pressure. And then Picasso says if you look at a chick, says good enough, says you look at a chick good enough, says like you a scientist, says you'll find she is a whole playground or rodeo, depending on your imagination, says imagination abilities. Tanika says, Picasso, she calling you horny, says she says I talk shit. Look, Tanika liking that shit. Tanika liking that shit. Look, yeah, because you got a connection with Tanika. Look, chicks be loving this shit. I'm telling you about that. They be liking that shit. So you just gotta talk. Man, gotta be able to talk like man. Like even with me on Instagram, like how I put the shit on, like I put man shit on my shit. If I see bad chicks, I want to post them. Just post them. I don't be gawking over bitches like that. I just beauty is beauty, and I'm gonna post that shit. I'm gonna post beautiful chicks. Some chicks be feeling a certain way because I be wanting to see the reaction of the chick. The homies gonna be like married up. Like even the homies I know married and shit be, man, keep posting that shit. And then Tanika said, she said she grew up with men. Yeah, so women be peeking in to hear how dudes talk. And I'm gonna talk like a dude. I'm gonna always talk like a dude. I can work on. Even hearing me say the B word don't mean I'm calling women bitches because I don't call chicks bitches like that. Unless they deserving of being called that shit in a disrespectful way. It says not too many females, says but family. Not too many females with family. Yeah, a lot of chicks don't. But it's funny when you say that, like chicks who say they don't hang around a lot of females. And a lot of times you don't hang around them because you see how untrustworthy they are from a sexual standpoint. They try to compete with one another. They try to steal each other's dudes. And that's why I be saying when people be like, you ain't in a relationship, like, homie, you know how much pussy is out here when you need it? Like, but the only thing you do, and the thing is you do got to stay in shape for chicks. Like I went on my hiatus, like with my kids and shit, put on all that weight and shit. I was on my, like, but getting back in shape, but always being able to talk skinny and fat, you don't get this shit. But you still got to be able to put in some motherfucking, get your physical back on point, get in shape and this and that. But it'd be a lot of shit. A lot of shit. Come on, I'm talking, man, I'm not even a scandalous dude, but I done shit. Because this is why I've always said this shit. I've even said this shit to these one chick. And it's funny how, like with this one chick, I tell this story. And the nigga says it was a bad, what is that? Why you write is? She says it was a bad, since it was a bad one's impression, Reggie says, because I'm saying they dug you. She said they dug you, says you were a gateway. Oh, they made a bad impression, says it was a bad one's impression. Says Reggie, because I'm saying they dug you. Says you were a gateway. Says Reggie's opinion says our own. Says fellas sign up. Hey, but look, this is the other thing. Like when talking about this shit with chicks say they don't hang with a lot of chicks because of the shit that you can get away with. Not shit they get away with, but how they compete and they'll go after each other's dudes. Like women are very vicious when it comes to that shit and how they compete with each other. And I think I can't even say they do it when they young. A lot of them do it when they older. A lot of them do it when they older and shit. Still do this shit of competing and throwing you cooch on the side based on what they hear. I remember this back when I remember these and I've done that shit. Like you see bitches be in a circle, you end up fucking a whole circle. But I remember these one chicks in here. We had a function at my crib. I had a little kick back at the crib. These bitches come on. One of these chicks in here talking all this little I went in like she sanctified ass shit, talking about how women she'd never do this and never do that. She couldn't fuck with somebody who was with somebody that she knew. Like, you know how a chick can talk about they can never fuck with somebody's exes. I said, man, I looked at her dead in her face. Like, you're full of shit. Like I said, anybody will do any of this snake ass shit. I said, you will probably fuck your cousin's fucking ex. You fuck your best friend's ex. No, I wouldn't do that. I do not get down there. I'm not like that. One of the homies was fucking her best friend or some shit, or just a regular friend, digging this chick out because this chick will be back there talking to her, how this fool in there fucking her and shit. And this nigga, because at my spot in Long Beach, my spot was notorious. Like the boom, my spot was the boom room. You got bitches, you can bring them through. This chick, and look, this is like some real walk of shame shit because it wasn't even a month or two. This nigga is bringing this chick up into my crib and about to knock her down. And all I did, I didn't even like really give her like judgment or look. I just see her when he walked in with her, and I just smiled. Thinking like, go ahead, nigga. She already knew what it was because she talked all that shit. But you been hearing your homegirl. Is you at your sexual peak, you single, your homegirl been telling you how this fool been knocking her back in and this and that, and now he getting you've been sneaking behind her back, doing that shit, and now he about to knock your back in. And then Tanika says from Ben's channel, says, Reggie, everybody likes you. Oh, yes, indeed, man. I'm glad y'all love me, man. Don't put the word love on. I know y'all love me. And then Tanika says, I have my own mind. Yes, indeed. I appreciate that. And he says, you a fool? Oh, absolutely, man. I'm a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy. But that's all I got on this one. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace, peace. Y'all sign up for Sammy's love dating show, speed dating. But that's all I got. But you never put the date she having it. When I looked on her channel, it don't give the date that she's doing it. So I think she needs to put a date on it. That's bad promotion. But that's all I got. I'm out of here, folks. Peace, peace.